the Fresh Food Weekly program has had to close just before Thanksgiving. The community food program has been running for months out of the community room of Barrie Public Housing, but now it has to end its service. Leah Dick is the founder of Fresh Food Weekly and joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
What terrible news. But before we get to that, tell us a bit more about your organization. What exactly is Fresh Food Weekly?
Fresh Food Weekly is a food security program that I started the beginning of June this summer, and we basically receive donated fresh produce and bread items and deliver it to low-income families on a weekly basis.
And what was it exactly that inspired you to found it?
Well, I was working for a company that eventually went bankrupt. I was working there for 5 years, and I didn't have a job, and I just looked around and I realized, there's a lot of people that could use some extra food right now. And so I reached out to a couple local farmers and asked them if they had anything extra, and they did. So kind of grew from there.
Oh, isn't that lovely to hear? Because you don't think that if you just ask, sometimes you'll get the answer you're looking for.
Yeah.
And this, unfortunately, even before COVID, people were struggling. Tell me a bit about the folks you're helping.
Well, when I first started, I was just delivering to 50% of one public housing building. Obviously, their rent is based on how much money comes in every month. And so I already knew that there were lots of people struggling in Barrie. So I just started with them, and it kind of grew very rapidly after that.
Which brings us to your situation now. Why are you forced to close your doors?
That's a good question. They just asked me to have all my things out by October 1st. And at that point, I was already reaching over 260 families every week that said that they needed help with eating. So they said that they wanted to reopen this community room to the residents of their buildings to have social gatherings. But now that I'm out, it's still sitting there empty, not being used. So I didn't really see them reopening it to the residents because we're anticipating another wave. So I'm sure it's just going to sit there empty for a while.
So just to be clear, Leah, it's not that you're not able to get fresh produce, again, the donations from the farmers who've been helping you out. It's not as though, the need has disappeared, but it's just merely a lack of space.
Yes.
What has been the reaction so far?
Well, I'm pretty frustrated, and I think there's a lot of people frustrated. Obviously, all the recipients on the program are frustrated. They're very upset because there's this food now that's just going to be wasted. I was taking food off of farmers' hands and local food businesses' hands that they were just going to throw out anyways. And so I was kind of giving them an opportunity to not throw it out and get it to the homes of people who really needed it. And they felt good about that. That was something some of them said they're sick and tired of throwing this food out. Mm-hmm. So I think they're frustrated, and we're frustrated, and it's frustrating because we don't even know why we're not allowed to be in that space anymore. So yeah.
Give me examples of the types of things that you would provide in these bags then, the stuff that would have been thrown out.
Yeah, well, we would get lots of celery, lots of leaf lettuce, lots of romaine lettuce. I was even going to the farmers markets in Barrie, Orillia, and Midland every single weekend. And the vendors there, if they didn't sell items, they could donate them. And lots of times they were donating them because they were just going to throw them out anyways. And it's perfectly good food that was being sold earlier that day. So we're getting lots of produce and lots of baked items as well. We have several bakeries that donate every week. And actually, Cullen's Bakery in Bradford, they were donating every day. At the end of the day, whatever they didn't sell in buns, they would donate to us. And sometimes that would range from one garbage bag full of buns that were baked that day to 3. So sometimes I'd get $300 worth of buns in one day.
And so what will happen now? Because obviously you were filling a need in the community.
Yeah. Well, now I'm just kind of still going around. Like, I've known about this for 6 weeks now that I was losing my space. On October 1st, I had to shut down because I needed to have my things out. So I'm still going around looking. I'm doing interviews with local news outlets whenever I can to try to get the word out there and trying to tell people in the community that if you have a space, we would love to use it because we are meeting a need in the community. And there are people, like this month, people are coming off of EI. There's thousands of people coming off EI, and things are going to get even harder than they have been for the last year. I remember in my last week of doing deliveries, one of the people we were delivering to, there was an eviction notice on their door, and there's 4 children living in that home. Another woman, when I walked up to her to give her the bag, she looked like a family member had died, and I asked her what was wrong, and she said that she just got off the phone. She had to declare bankruptcy, and they were seizing her vehicle the next day. So, and this was just the last week of September that those things in particular happened. But people have been struggling for much longer than that. And it's just such a shame that we've had to close the program down.
Well, Leah, maybe someone who is listening right now knows of a space that is available so you can continue your good work.
Yes, that would be lovely, and hopefully that there can be a space made available. If you guys want to have more information, we have a website, www.freshfoodweekly.com. And you can also contact me that way as well through the website. And there's links to all my social media channels, so you can actually see and get videos and pictures of all the things that we've been able to do for the last 4 months.
And I'll be happy to pass on to anyone who contacts us to get in touch with you. Leah, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
That's Leah Dick, founder of Fresh Food Weekly in Barrie, and we will continue to talk about food insecurity with another interview later on in our show coming up after World Report at 7 o'clock. It is 6:19. Mackenzie Cameron is here